Good afternoon or good evening. We're going to begin the call to order the Peabody City Council Subcommittee on Legal Affairs. Joining us this evening is our members of the committee, Councilors Rosignol, Sasslaw, Turco, and Councilor Welton. Will you step in for Councilor McGinn? Great, thank you. Also joining us are, Councilor McGinn is here, so you're excused, Councilor Welton, for being part of the committee this evening. We also have Council President O'Neill, Councilor Manning Martin, Councilor Welton, Councilor Charis, Councilor Gould, and Councilor Matsoulis. We have one item on the agenda this evening. It's a request from His Honor the Mayor to to authorize that a van be donated to No Child Goes Hungry in Peabody. We have this evening joining us His Honor the Mayor, along with Jared Hockman, who runs the No Child Goes Hungry programs. Mayor, would you like to kick us off?
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Melville. Good evening, Council. Hope everybody's doing well. Dan Doucette should be joining us shortly as well. I know he was planning on being a part of this committee meeting to answer questions from his perspective as well. But I'm very happy to be here today with this request. All departments at one point or another have declared items surplus. If we're fortunate enough to be able to bring in new items, like we have at the Council on Aging with some new vans that we're able to obtain, at that point, decisions are made to declare property, different items surplus, whether it be vehicle, whether it be desks, could be a whole number of things. The school department, Council on Aging, library, City Hall even, that's a typical occurrence. Then we give it to Dan Doucette. Once it's declared surplus by the individual departments, it goes to Dan Doucette, and he typically has an auction. Usually once a year or once every couple of years, he'll have a public auction for vehicles, and we're able to make a little bit of money on those auctions. Council on Aging declared 3 vans to be surplus vans after we were able to supply some new ones, and that was handled through the Friends of the Council on Aging as well as some city funds. And at that time, we looked into what our city department's needs are. Typically, we send out a notice to the other departments seeing if they would need or find use of any of the surplus property. Both the fire department and the Park and Rec department have expressed interest in the vans. One is, and I'm not sure if one is going to be able to be used, but definitely one can be. But we had some internal discussions, heard from some counselors, and we thought that a nice gesture would be to donate one of the vans to the No Child Goes Hungry in Peabody program. That program has done a terrific job over the last few years, helping our students, helping our families that are in need, whether it be during the summer, whether it be during the weekend, or in particular this year. They really stepped up and helped feed families during times when people were out of work and struggling, particularly in the spring, summer, and fall. But their operation continues. Mr. Hockman and his team do a terrific job really meeting a dire need in our community. And we've kind of looked at them as a partner with Haven from Hunger, with Brooksby Farm, with the city of Peabody. And we thought this would be a good gesture to show our support and thanks for the great work they do, and to be able to help them distribute and provide food to an even greater degree. We could certainly go forward and sell it at an auction, probably make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. But I just felt, and I know others have reached out to me feeling the same way, that this could be a great asset and great help to this excellent organization to continue their fine work. So I can certainly answer some of the questions, some of the technical stuff. Dan Doucette has just joined us, which is great. Some of the technical questions Mr. Doucette can speak to as to typically how an auction runs and some of the specifics, but I'm here to answer any questions as well. But really, it's just an attempt and an effort to support an excellent organization that has done some terrific work. Mr. Hockman, his team, great group of volunteers that And I know a number of you have been part of those volunteer efforts in the past. And I just think it would be a great gesture to that group. Happy to answer any questions, Mr. Melville.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Any questions from or comments from the committee? Councilor Turco and then Councilor Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mayor, thank you for this presentation. As you know, Jared was here 2 weeks ago, and I thought you may want to be here to do the presentation. And you actually said everything that there is to say about the program and about Mr. Hockman, that you know, the program needs the van. It just was brought to my attention 2 weeks ago, and I didn't even know that Councilor Manning, Martin, and Councilor Gould had advocated with you for this. So, you know, that's great that they had. As far as declaring something surplus, is that a vote of the council separate? Is it two separate votes, one that we need to declare surplus, or do you do that as mayor? I've never done this before, so historically, if you feel better, I'll ask Mr. Chairman if he has looked into that at all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Councilor Melville knows this stuff very well. Mr. Doucette, I know, can answer those as well. So I'd maybe like to have one of them to discuss the procedure.
Okay. Councilor Melville, do you want to defer?
Yeah, I'll defer. It's Mass General Law, Chapter 30B is what governs what we're talking about tonight. But Dan, can you hear us?
I can hear you, thanks.
Dan, can you just briefly just summarize if it requires council approval to declare non-land assets of the city surplus? Does that take an act of the council?
There's two elements in play here. The first is the ordinance section that deals with transfer and disposition of surplus, but it makes no reference to a third-party charitable organization. But Chapter 30B does. In Section 15, which it says that a governmental body by majority vote dispose of a tangible supply having a resale or salvage value at less than fair market. So I think I'm not an attorney, but I want to just, my understanding of 30B, going back to when it didn't exist, I think just simply the council motion could be to invoke Chapter 30B and designate the organization as a charitable organization to which the council agrees would be donated the surplus van.
Thanks, Dan. Another question? Councilor Turco, you still have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to Mr. Doucette. So you're saying we would be the ones to declare No Child Goes Hungry as a charitable organization? Or...
The council, the 30B only says a charitable organization which has received a tax exemption from the United States. It makes no other representations to any other designation by anybody else. It's the council is the governmental body in this particular case because it's from a city department.
Thank you very much. So with that asked, I just wanted to say to Mr. Hockman, thank you very much for what you've done with No Child Goes Hungry. For those people that don't know it, my wife works at the Carroll School, and she's told me numerous times that you've been there carrying boxes in and out of the school. And, I think a lot of people think that you have hundreds of volunteers that do all this stuff for you, but what they in fact don't know is that a lot of times it's just you. And, I thank you for that, for the time and the effort you've put in. And on a separate note, as a parent, I want to say that thank you to you as a school committee member for the hard work that you guys put in this year. And I'm a happy parent that I have a happy daughter that she's going back to school. But thank you again.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. Councilor Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the mayor. Thank you for the clarification regarding how many vans. And so the vans that are going to the Council on Aging, those are new?
Yes, those are new vans that we've provided to them with great assistance from the Friends of the Peabody Council on Aging. I want to make sure because they provide a great deal of the funding. So yeah, once the new vans came in, they reviewed their inventory and these were declared surplus, 3.
So they're receiving 3 new ones as well?
At least 3 they've received new ones, yep.
Like Councilor Turco, this is my first go-around, so I'm glad, one of the reasons why I'm glad it was in subcommittee, just to know the process, because it's a process that I'm unfamiliar with. To echo Councilor Turco, thank you to No Child Goes Hungry for feeding children in need. I think that's a valiant effort and one that does not go unnoticed by the community. Thank you.
Just while we're on this, Mr. Hockman, do you want to just give 2 minutes on what you'll be using this van for? Just kind of tell us what kind. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor McGinn, and then Mr. Hockman, you can just summarize what you plan on using the van for. Mr. McGinn, Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to be sure that I understood the clarification, the question that Councilor Turco asked on process. It's one motion, right? It has been declared surplus. The city, the department, and the mayor have the authority to do that for this, and so we're strictly dealing with the donation under Chapter 30B. Is that an accurate summary?
Councilor McGinn, yes. So it's under Mass General Law, Chapter 30B, Section 15, and then subsection G is the specific line that deals with this particular item. The mayor and the purchasing agent through the mayor has declared it surplus, and we're going to do one motion to authorize. Basically, we're not going through the auction process that has typically been done.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's consistent with what I would have thought. I mean, in the time I've been on the council, I don't recall ever having to vote to declare, a vehicle surplus. So that all makes sense with my experience. I'd just like to say that, I am fully supportive of this. No Child Goes Hungry in Peabody is an organization that supports a number of children and families citywide, but there's a significant concentration of them in Wood too. So I'm particularly appreciative of the efforts that they make to undertake what it is they do. So I obviously plan to fully support this motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councilor McGinn. Councilor, the mayor, did you have something you wanted to add?
If I could, I'll be very brief.
Down?
Yeah, if I could, thank you, Chairman. I'll be very brief. Yeah, I just want to make sure because this is new. This is the first time I've ever brought something like this forward to the council. And typically when one of the departments, be it, as I mentioned, the Council on Aging or the library or police department, whatever, once they declare property surplus, typically it's provided to Dan. Dan does the inventory and then goes through the auction process. This one just a little different because of, I think, the close relationship we have with this organization, the advocacy on behalf of the organization. We thought that this would be a good gesture. But this isn't something that we've done in the past, and it's a little different procedure. That's why, it's important for me to be here, Dan to be here to talk this through. And again, happy to continue to answer any questions.
Councilor Sasslaw?
Thank you, Councilor Melville. I just wanted to thank School Committee Member Hockman. On a personal note, Jared, you've been a great mentor to my son. You've taught him a lot of lessons, humility, community service, and as he goes off to college next year, I know as a parent we like to think we do it as best we can, but it's people like you who really help form other children. And as I said on a personal note, thank you for what you've done, and thank you for the work you continue to do.
Any other members of the... Councilor Welton?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not a member of this committee, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I just had procedurally, again, I echo the comments of the other counselors. I've had a chance to see this program firsthand. I know what an incredible impact it makes, and very appreciative as a fellow citizen of Peabody that this program exists and that Jared's done such a great job supporting it. Procedurally, I just had a few questions, and based on my my career and my background, I have some experience in the nonprofit sector with donations. And if I understood it correctly, from Mr. Doucette, we would be voting on making a charitable donation. I wanted to maybe just offer for the procedure in which we do that. Generally, if you make a charitable donation, there's a tax exempt form that you would get from the charitable organization, and then you'd have a vote from the board just to approve the receipt of the asset. I don't know if that's something that we want to consider, as part of the procedure, if we are in fact moving forward going to be making charitable donations of surplus vehicles and things like that. Again, just something to think about. I know I'm in favor of getting the van to No Child Goes Hungry, but just kind of wanted to bring that point up. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Welton. Councilor Manning Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to thank the mayor for taking this action. He's quite the gatekeeper of, as under procurement laws, he's the gatekeeper for city property and declaring it surplus. And he has not, as he's stated tonight, he has yet to do that. And I think that this is, that points out what a great gatekeeper he is on surplus property. And the decision that he did make to go forward in doing this, I support 100%. I think that this, being the first time it's been done in his tenure, is an excellent first step in donating surplus property in this van going to this program, given the year that we've had with the rise of food insecurity and all the work that this and the families that this has reached over the years, over the last year in particular. And I think it's just a great partnership that we're displaying, as the mayor said, for nonprofit and community and public, all working together to do the right thing by our community and to continue to support a program that really stepped up in a time of need. So I support it 100%, and I also want to thank the Council on Aging for as well joining in this partnership and offering up the van as surplus to this program, and the work of the mayor and, again, Councilor Gould in making this happen. So I support it 100%. Mayor, I thank you very much for taking this action in your first step. You are quite the gatekeeper when it comes to surplus property, as we've learned tonight. So I thank you for that, and I thank you for this gesture to this program. And I think that, as you said, it is quite a good gesture and a feel-good move as we hopefully wrap up this pandemic and move forward for better things to come. So I thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Manning Martin. Any other councilors? Councilor Charest?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just so I have my certain notes here that people have been asking, and I think you touched on this through the chair to the mayor. The value of this van is at what? Or maybe that's for Doucette, Dan? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he might be able to give a better idea. We anticipate that if we did sell it, we could make a few $1,000s probably. But there's certainly significant wear and tear on the van, and that's why the Council on Aging declared it surplus, because there was one that certainly has been with the facility a while and certainly has some wear and tear on it.
Sure. So, like most of the councilors mentioned, this is the first time all of us has gone around, and it's great that we're able to keep the properties within the city and operating for good causes. And there's no amount of dollars going in the... I see this happening in the future. I think other programs are probably seeing this and noticing it and say, hey, wow, that's an area that I didn't think to reach out to for the city, to any other surpluses, vehicles or things of that nature. So I just want, as Councilor Welton, the procedure, I know most of the councilors here like to follow the procedure and stuff. I think we should do that because, again, I think this is going to something that is going to continue and hopefully will continue, that we're able to help organizations that's doing a great job. And with that said, I still want to remember two individuals who brought this program here in Peabody, that were able to get it up and going and to be able to have success is Dennis and Michelle Feld. Most of you probably remember she came in front of us before and spoke about, you know, what she want her vision, and I see it's achieved to that. So I do want to thank them as well as Jared for having a program that's exceeding expectations. So, and I fully support this. Thank you.
Okay, any other counselors? Mr. Hockman, if you could give us 2 minutes, we're slightly over our time as it is, but I just would like to get 2 minutes from you and just talk about what you're going to plan on doing with this and just a little bit about the program. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Councilor Melville, and thank you to the entire council and the subcommittee. I do need to start by thanking Councilor Manning Martin and Councilor Gould for their assistance in going through this process and advocating for this van to be donated to No Child Goes Hungry in Peabody. I can't thank you enough for the assistance that you're providing to us. Thank you to the mayor for following through and seeing this through. And thank you to the rest of the councilors for your kind words. Councilor Turco, it really is hundreds of volunteers. It may seem like I do a lot, but it's really hundreds of people doing a tremendous amount of work. Councilor Sasla, you couldn't have given me a bigger compliment. Anyone that knows me, it's about helping kids, giving kids opportunities. My 12th year on the school committee, and that's a big reason why. So I appreciate that Justin's having a good experience and is doing great things for us. Councilor Melville, you know, we've been in existence since October of 2017. We've built up a large network of organizations that donate things to us. So this van is going to help us picking up some of those donations. We get Peabody residents who own commercial bakeries that donate cookies to us. Before this van, I would drive my car 3 or 4 trips to Everett to pick up those cookies because they were so numerous that I couldn't fit them in my vehicle in less than 3 or 4 trips. We get donations from at Christmas and Easter time from an Italian importer-exporter who has a business here in Peabody. We get donations from, again, and I go pick those up either in my van or have to rent a truck to get those. We get donations. We run a program, a winter coat program with Macy's every year. We apply for a grant through Macy's to purchase $3,000 worth of winter coats from Macy's. And it usually takes several trips in my car to get those coats to each of the 8 elementary schools once they're acquired. This van will certainly help with that. Since COVID hit us a little more than a year ago, we've transitioned from a program that would deliver the backpacks to 8 elementary schools to delivering single-use plastic bags to over 300 students throughout the city of Peabody and beyond. We don't just limit our services to residents of Peabody. We take care of any student that goes to a Peabody public school, and some of them live outside of the city as a result of school choice and things like that, or being homeless and relocated elsewhere. So those are just some of the areas that we are going to be able to use this van. We get backpacks donated by Planet Aid. This will help us with things like that. I do want to thank PMLP for making a significant donation. We're going to use, I think, a portion of that to wrap the vehicle so that it's identified and known throughout the city. We're extremely proud of receiving this vehicle and grateful to the city council for helping us with it. You know, I'm just reading off my notes now. I'm looking at other things. Right presently, as we speak, there are Girl Scout troops throughout the city who are doing a snack drive for us. And because we don't have the vehicle yet, they're going to be meeting me down at our new location over at 58 Pulaski Street to bring truckloads of, I think there are 3 pickup trucks coming full of snacks that they've collected in the month of March that they're going to deliver to us at 58 Pulaski Street. If we have the truck, and when we have the truck, we'll be able to go around and save them that trip. But we get donations like that. I don't want to say all the time, but we have feelers out at Costco and BJ's, and when things go on clearance, we get phone calls, and sometimes you have to pick up pallets of things at a time. And closing, I know I've gone over my 2 minutes. I apologize, Councilor Melville. I did want to thank some of our major donors. Like I said, PMLP, Analogic, Macy's, North Shore Bank, J.B. Thomas Leahy Foundation, Grayvock, Lions Club, Peabody Rotary Club, Peabody Ed Foundation, numerous Girl Scout and Boy Scout troops throughout the city, Planet Aid. I can go on and on from there to the private donors and a whole bunch of other people that I'm probably missing. But I figured if I had this window, I'd like to at least publicly thank all of them for what they've done for us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hockman. I echo, Councilor Gould, you have some comments?
Chairman, thank you very much for the opportunity. Just very briefly, the mayor, when we called and asked the mayor if this was something we could do, he immediately said, I think that's a great possibility. He then got in touch with Carolyn Wynn over at the Council on Aging, who had identified 3 vans. And a special thanks for that effort. And also a special thanks to John Keown at the Department of Public Works, the mechanic. He has serviced these trucks and he knew which one was the best for Jared's program. And thank you, John, for all your help. And that's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. So I echo all the positive sentiments tonight. I think this is a great thing for the city. I need a motion, Councilor Rosenau.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion to follow the mayor's recommendation to donate the surplus van to No Child Goes Hungry. All papers being in order, including the recommendation from Councilor Welton. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any questions or comments on the motion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Sasslaw,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I believe we need a vote for that. Do we need a vote? Roll call vote, please.
Councilor Sasslaw,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.